Welcome to another Ecological Niches video. Today we're going to do something slightly different, and we're going to talk about a specific place, Skipper Bay Trail. This video is going to go over Skipper Bay Trail and will be the first part of two. Skipper Bay Trail is in the United States, in the state of Utah, next to Utah Lake, just west of Provo, and it is just north of the Provo Airport. This first part will look at the resident species that live here, which are any animal that lives in the area for the entire year. I am joined by the other voice of Ecological Niches and the one that does the majority of the videos up close of animals. So first off, with Skipper Bay Trail, how many times do you think over the years you have visited the trail?
Since 2013, I visited over 400 times.
Why so many trips over those about 10 years?
Well, it's a nice trail. I mean, it's 1 mile long exactly, and we take the dog down there. Sometimes I go alone, sometimes I go with my wife, and it's a good place to spend an hour.
What is interesting about the permanent residence that you have on Skipper Bay?
Well, I get to watch things like black-capped chickadees nest, red-winged blackbirds, house finches and house sparrows. I can see the young ones grow, I can see the old ones nest, and I see the full cycle over a year.
So you're talking a lot about birds. Why so many pictures of birds?
Birds are more abundant and more visible than the other animals on Skipper Bay. I've seen over 180 species of birds and probably only 20 species of mammals in all the times I've been down there.
Is it just that they're so easy to see, or there is just that many more of them?
I think it's both. A lot of the mammals down there are probably nocturnal, and so I don't see those when I go.
Makes sense. What roles do birds play in the ecosystem then if they're the majority there and you see them the most often?
Well, the birds are some of the major organisms there in that they are present in a canopy and on the ground and in between. They also can fly in and out, so they bring the seeds in, they bring energy in, and they take energy out as they go.
What's a story or memory you have about one of these pictures that we have that you've taken on the trail?
I don't know, there's been a lot of pictures on the trail. In the springtime, I like it a lot because many times the pastures are flooded and there's an awful lot of waterfowl. Sometimes there's hundreds of waterfowl. Everything from waders to ducks and geese. A couple of years ago, there were some swans that apparently had come down pretty rare. And there were 3 of them there, a young one and 2 adults. And they were just swimming about 50 yards off. And that was pretty cool to see swans on Skipper Bay.
But Skipper Bay is next to Utah Lake. What human influences have you seen around Utah Lake and the trail in general?
Well, the trail has pasture land on the side of it, and there's been cattle running there for years and years. Lately, they've removed the cattle, and they've been trying to kill the invasive species. They're trying to make it more natural, I guess. If bringing bulldozers in and making new channels is nature, that's what they've been doing. But I've seen everything from people walking there, people hunting there, other people like me birding and enjoying the walk. And then, like I said, the farmers, the ranchers, and things like that have really influenced it.
So some of the changes you've seen have been people trying to move invasives in favor of natives. What are some of those invasive species that you're trying to get rid of down there?
Well, some of the more noticeable ones are Russian olive and tamarisk species. The Russian olive and the tamarisk are small trees, and they've grown up there, and they went in and they've cut them down, and then they've used chemicals to help poison them and remove them. Phragmites is another huge one, and the Phragmites has been tough for them to control. It's very prevalent all over around Utah Lake, and so they have to spray that about a couple times a year to even keep it down and in check. But they've done a pretty fair job. The bulrushes are coming back, and there's a few cattails here and there.
Why are we concerned about these invasives? If they're just there, why not just let them go?
Well, the biggest problem with the Phragmites is it grows very, very thick, and it's not native for the birds that we have. They do use it, when they can, but it's not as friendly to our native birds as say a bulrush or a cattail.
Right, because they haven't evolved with it and evolved in separate places, maybe. That could be a reason.
And when you get into Phragmites, there is nothing else that can grow in there. It's so thick.
Right, there's competition for Phragmites here is just small because the cattails and everything just grow slower, it takes longer.
Sprouts a little later.
Thanks for watching another Ecological Niches video. If you want to see part 2 of the Skipper Bay Trail series, tune in, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you won't miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in that next video.